Hi, it's Sebastian from the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by
Ian Salpekar from Gone Savage. Nice to meet you, Seb.
It's great to be chatting to you. The album Retrograde has been out a little while. Can you tell us about the feedback from media and fans so far?
Yeah, so Retrograde came out on the 25th of October. It's been released this time by Muzzle Records in Los Angeles. It's initially been out on download and streaming, but it's coming out as a full CD. We're still awaiting CDs from our partners over in the States. So Retrograde, it's 10 tracks. This title is a kind of a throwback to where we started, because we're a band with a long legacy, right back to the 89, 90, believe it or not.
Yeah.
15. It's been received really, really well. And we've had lots of different feedback. We had some feedback in last week, which was a bit, it's constructive, but it wasn't as good as we'd expected. So we've gone from like really, really good vibes to only one to one that was, looking at it from a different angle, which is fine. But I think when I've sent out the CD for like appraisal, I've looked at it and said, like, take it in its context, that it isn't. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here.
No.
We do rock, and we do lots of different variations on rock, from really heavy to quite. So yeah, the consensus has been really good. If I'm honest with you, Sebastian, it's been really good, positive. Can't wait to get on to the next one, because now we've got a bit of a springboard, and it's a change from our first Life in Black and White. So
the vibe and grooves from this release sound like a young band. Where do you guys, the seasoned band of musicians, get your energy from?
Let's say, yeah, it's a bit. It's a funny one, because I write all the music, but I don't write. I have influences, but I don't tend to look at what's around. I might look at sound. I might look at always using that kind of vocal effect. Always using. They're not putting guitar solos in, So I might look at the structure, but I won't look at the design and say I want a piece of that. So we traditionally were a rock band, which was probably similar to bands like your Dokken, your Rat, your Warrant, all the good stuff from the 80s into the 90s. But we've always continued to write, myself and Will Glover. We always write the feel that we want to do. And they can go from all kinds of things, like the really heavy stuff on Retrograde is what I class as Money, Power, Love, things like that.
That's my favourite.
Yeah, it's got some attitude. And similarly, when we did Life in Black and White, you've got things like Powerless, Icon of Today, and the proper grinding rock songs. And then you can flip that to something like, your Soul Sister is an example on Retrograde. And then from Life in Black and White, we've got loads of these little hockey little 3-minute wonders like Life in Black and White, Love Caught Me Out, that. So that's what we do. We just do what we feel we want to do at that moment in time. So we don't generally do formulas, but I was saying to the label the other day, I'm trying to mature the music into the future. And this is where we're slightly different, because myself and Will, we're a seasoned age, but we don't really go for the metal and the rock and the look and all that kind of thing. But we want to then carry on and then go into our later life.
Yeah.
Not looking like glam, I don't feel comfortable. So, God bless people like Rob Alford and Biff Byford for continuing, but they have to continue. They don't have to suddenly be a rock star.
No.
And I don't want to suddenly be. So the music's going to be, it'll go a little bit more towards our AOR, our commercial vibe. Not now. But
so which is your favourite track on the album today, and why?
It changes, because it's all about, for me, it's about hooks. And at the moment, I've got a right earworm for Sunshine and Flowers.
Right.
And it's like, it just won't go away. I, as a bass player, tend to do things for the band. So it's not from a personal point of view. I've done a great bass line. So I like things like Drowning, just from a point of view that it's the last track on the album, and it's also got a different feel to it. I really liked how Shameless Girl came out as well. Well, it was Shameless Girl. It's called Shameless now. And that's the second, third track in. Who Ran Me Down? I do. But that's being played to death.
Yeah, that's another favourite of mine as well.
Okay.
All right.
You get that?
Can you explain the strange artwork for me then? What's that all about?
So the artwork's done by a chap that your viewers will probably have heard of, Hugh Syme. So Hugh Syme's done people like Rush, Dream Theater, Aerosmith, everybody, Anti, as we know.
Yeah.
So he came on board because I got in touch with Hugh about a good 6-7 months ago. I said, "You fancy doing work with us?" And he said, "Yes." It's not the budget of EMI or Capital or anything like that. He wanted to work with us to see what he could do. So Retrograde was his title that he worked with, and that's what he came up with. And we've got more artwork from Hugh coming through, hopefully on a future vinyl release.
Right.
And I think it's very cool. It's strong. I mean, people could suggest that you're going away from the music. We're not. We're enhancing what we do. I'm not one for saying like we went and we've recorded with Mutt Lang, therefore we must be fantastic. No. No, it's just making sure that we deliver the best product we can. And I had the opportunity. Why not? And it was a dream for me, Seb. I mean, I'm a Rush diehard fan. It's like, I'm engaging in all them wonderful album covers.
Brilliant. Yeah, well, it makes it interesting, doesn't it? But it is going to come out on it is going to come out on vinyl then. Yeah, definitely.
Well, it is at the moment because we're going through all kinds of what's a boring word, just basically working out the cost versus the viability and all that kind of business stuff. Yes is the answer, but I don't know when. I mean, I've done the artwork, but I don't know production. We're trying to get the CD out first, so we're not going to go too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So the CD is physical.
So do you have plans for tours and a festival or anything like that? Festivals next year?
Yeah, we're looking now. For the last 3 or 4 years at least, we've not had a full lineup for various reasons. We can use the old COVID, we can use that, but also we just couldn't find people, and so we most of our written by myself, and then I do all the engineering, and then I get everything out to people. And the constants have always been myself and Will Glover. And then for the last album, we used Retrograde. We used Dex Tyler, and Dex is now on board as a permanent member. And then we found a chap called John Sudbury, who is South Wales. He's a guitar player in his own right. He's done lots of work over in the States. And he's now on board for doing things live work. So yes is the answer. So now we'll be a little bit selective because, like I said, we've got this framework to do live work, but we haven't really got a regular band. So it's not going to be a case of 10 dates. It could be. It could probably be more likely to be 10 dates than a date here and there. Because we all live in different locations as well. South Wales, Dance, got North Wales, and we've got Bournemouth.
All right, that's a long stretch, yeah.
No particular order, and these are all because they were first for me. So one of my favourite, and still is actually, is Breakfast in America, believe it or not, Supertramp.
Okay, yeah.
First I ever bought. So it was a first, so that's why I put it in. My next one was also, and this shows you where I go. My next is Bomber by Motorhead.
Great album. Yeah.
And it was the first rock album I bought. It was the first gig I went to. I was only about 13, and Saxon supported them at the King George's Hall in Blackburn.
Nice.
And then I went after for the Ace of Spades, and it was brilliant. Absolutely. Bomber, I've still got it on blue. Never sell that album. Never, ever. Got loads of Motorhead. I love Motorhead. So my third one is a little bit of a change. It's Dirt by Alice in Chains. It's such a good album. And that was, you were talking at the beginning about how I might get influenced by what's happening currently.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing about that was, it was out when the band Gone Savage originally. It folded. So we didn't get a chance to get the influence of Alice in Chains into the music then. Sometimes now, mainly on the vocal side, we will. So that was Dirt, excellent album. And then, that was from a first hearing. They probably might be third time. They went on Jules Holland Live, Alice in Chains, with Lane and the boys, and it was like, wow, because it was about 91, I think.
Yeah.
And you previously, crap 80s pop. That was brilliant. The next one is another first, because my first ever ZZ Top track I heard was Lagrange. Brian Johnson talking to Tommy Vance way back.
Right.
And it was when Brian Johnson the gig with AC/DC, and I think it might be in '82. Mm-hmm. And he was on a little bit with Tommy Vance, and he just said, "This track is the best." And I've loved him ever since, seen him loads of times. So I picked up Lagrange, and he's like, and it was on Tres Hombres is the album. So that's another fantastic album. And also, I want to put our album in, Retrograde.
Yeah, okay.
Because superbly proud of that one. And again, footnote is that to work with a living legend on artwork and with the album is like a wow moment. You know, so that's me selling ourselves, but it was a really good moment. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, so the album, I mean, I wasn't really very keen on growing, but Alice in Chains was just like the band that still kept going and still are going, indeed, even though Lane's no longer with us. I mean, are you a fan of their newer work with different vocalists?
Yeah, I went to them in about 2008 and then 10 with William.
That's it. Yeah.
William. Well, so the Academy in Manchester.
Right.
Absolutely. So I liked it, I'll be honest with you. I did like it. I've just remembered my 6th album. It was Moving Pictures by Rush, because it was the first album I'd ever heard on CD.
Right.
There you go.
That's brilliant.
So I do like Alice in Chains, yeah. I bought into a couple of their albums with William, but then after that, same. Jerry Cantrell stuff he's brought out. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm changing. It just seems to be a bit, you know, what's the word now? Just something just trotting out, really. But I'm sure a lot of people, and they probably don't care what I think.
You are cutting it out a little bit, but it's just not too bad, so I can still edit it, and it's fine. It's only a little bit, don't. Yeah, well, okay. I remember the first time I used to stay up and watch Raw. You remember Raw Power?
Yeah.
Raw Power, whatever it was called. I remember the first time Nirvana were ever screened in the UK. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, what the fuck is this? But they were brilliant. That album is brilliant. So, you know, it was like Teen Spirit, wasn't it? So, never mind.
So, you used to do a cover of Teen Spirit?
Yeah.
John Savage?
You're a huge Motorhead fan, so which Motorhead song would you love to do a cover for?
You know what I like the best? From a commercial point of view, was Killed by Death.
Yeah, I love that song. It's a good song. Yeah.
From a commercial point of view, it's just great.
It is.
But so for a cover, that would be it. You'd have to go commercial. I mean, I'm sure I Stone Dead Forever, but then would people really get that? People would if you were a Motorhead fan.
Yeah.
Eddie, Phil, and Lemmy Man. Motorhead. And Killed by Death, obviously, with Brian. But that's cool. Didn't really listen to much of Wurzel and stuff. I didn't actually see. I took my partner Trudy to see the last gig he ever played in Manchester at the Apollo. I got a video from that. That was his last one. Died, didn't he? Well, it's mostly going to be sort of like bass, but Geddy Lee.
Yeah. Fresh. Yeah.
Fresh point of view, yeah. And then another bass player, fantastic bass player, Rudy Sarzo from Quiet Riot. And he was to do with, I used to get tutorials, even back in the day, on video for bass playing. And I self-taught, played since about 15. But it's certain things that he does, it's called trilling. Bass players, it's quite a hard sax, but it makes life so much easier. So when I was in a band called Sweet Sin, for quite a few years, we were doing all kinds of stuff, lots of trilling notes. Similar to like Billy Sheehan, but nowhere near as technical. I like Satriani. because I like his feel. Not so much, it's almost like the Alice in Chains analogy where it's kind of run its course a bit.
Yeah.
Whereas I was mad and for about 8 or 10 albums, and I thought, hang on a minute. And so when he goes and does all these G3s and all these link ups, I don't really bother. It's too much showy. I don't bother, but I do rate him highly. Drummers wise, I'd say Neil Peart, but it's not really my thing. I like Phil Rudd out of AC/DC.
Yeah.
Just because it's what it's doing on the tin. It's playing rock music. That is really good. Obviously, with Cliff, even better. So that's my drummer. That's my guitarist. That's the 2 bassists. Any more guitar players? Not really vocalist-wise. Jeff Tate is for me. Queensryche.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's got the voice of an angel. Absolute angel. So I like him. And I also like, who's another good vocalist that I like? I'd say Coverdale to a degree, but I like Ian Gillan. So I like all the stuff that Gillan Purple. I like Ian Gillan. I used to love them with Bernie Tommy. Bless him.
Solo band. Fantastic, yeah.
Superb.
Yeah. Magic's my favourite Gillan album, actually. But it's not really that highly rated. I love that Magic album. I love that album. Do you prefer vinyl or digital?
Oh, definitely vinyl, although I don't play it much. Digital, not really keen on it. I listen to streaming crap and all that. Excuse my French, but I don't particularly like having a massive thing like this full of stuff. I like to see read.
Same, yeah. I hate Spotify. I don't use it. I'm not a fan. Okay, so if there was a made-up song about yourself, what would it be called, about your personality?
Made up?
Yeah.
Awkward git.
All right. Cool. If you were in a coma, what song would wake you up? What would get you up?
In a coma? Long Way Home. We'll say that one from Breakfast in America. Isn't it? I'll get you home.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not bad.
Since you're in Wales, do you prefer Welsh rarebit or a beer?
Oh, beer all day long.
Festivals or small intimate gigs?
Gigs. Do you know what? I don't think I've been to a festival.
Have you not?
Don't think so. Other than the crappy ones you see around towns where they could drag the 80 stars in and stuff like that. I didn't go, but I'll be aware of it. I don't tend to do festivals. No, I can't think of one. My old haunch used to be the academies and places like that. So small venues.
Yeah.
I've done the big ones, and I've been fortunate enough. I was on a guest pass with Journey one year, and it's like, didn't really make much difference. You sat with a lot of people who didn't want to be there, watching something they didn't want to watch.
I like the VIP box thing. You mean? I've done that.
No, it was. I've done the boxes. I did it for Rammstein.
Yeah.
I've seen Rammstein like 5 times. I love Rammstein. But the Journey experience was in the MEN at Manchester, and it was on the floor. So they put you into this like little pen at the front, and you were looking out. There's no one next to you. There was nobody there. It was a Journey Whitesnake and Journey Whitesnake.
I remember that tour. Yeah, that was a good tour.
Bernie Marsden's came on for Feel For Your Loving. And there's another band, I can't remember, it's escaping me. But it was so soulless, you know.
Right.
Go to the academy, you can't breathe. I saw Chickenfoot with Sammy Hagar, Joe Satriani,
Wow.
Michael Anthony. Yeah, Michael Anthony. It wasn't Chad Smith, it was a replacement. And we were in the academy watching these 4 legends, of course.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Totally. All right, the last one's really important, right? So, Keir Starmer, Donald Trump or Miss Piggy?
Miss Piggy, all day long.
Okay.
All day long.
100%.
To say piggy bank, see?
Yeah, exactly. Christmas. If there was one Christmas song to cover, which one would you choose with Gone Savage?
To cover?
Yeah.
Oh, Grace, that's a good one. Go on, we'll have Little Drummer Boy.
All right. Okay.
I just can't think of one.
All right.
Boy, we'll go with that one.
All right. There was a saying like they're releasing singles because of the way the world's changed these days. Do you think that's going to be the way forward then? It is a style of albums.
Yeah. We did do that. I did do that with Past Life. Now, Past Life is in effect Life in Black and White. Past Life is a digital album. And then we did Life in Black and White with Heaven and Hell in America. And they released it on CD as a CD. And up to that point, I was promoting Past Life. And we were dropping singles because people were kind of saying that's the way forward. Mm-hmm. I get that. I do. It's not in its traditional sense. And then when we took out Retrograde, I tried to push Run Me Down as the single and wait, as we'll give you another one. And everybody got hold of the album digitally and went, that one. They all decided to put their little single things out. So it only works if you can control it, as in there's not an album, there's one song, there's the one song. You've got to be able to do that. If as I found, if I give them an album, they then cherry pick what they would like. Yeah. And all of a sudden, and I listen to the show, and here's the latest one by Gone Savage. Yay! It's Soul Sister. Is it really? What about the Run Me Down? So it's a good policy, but it can be quite abused. And also, I find that. I don't know. People, you're putting in all your little tasters in. We did with Past Life, so we put in Love Caught Me Out, nice little 3-minute. Life in Black and White, nice little 3-minute song, and another one which was about 4 minutes. And then people thought that was it, and they moved away from the album. So they took the 11 it were, and then never saw them again. Yeah. So not sure. I think it works. Definitely works for the younger bands. So if you're moving around doing gigs and stuff, you can then suggest that 2-month period was promoting that single, go somewhere else, and that's it. And the younger generation will buy that and get into it and understand it. I don't think that we can do that, really. And I'm not old doing it, Seb, but I don't think it's a bad idea. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think it's good.
Okay, so yeah, I think I reviewed the last album you did before this one. I did, yeah. I had plans, I think that was a couple of years ago, wasn't it? But I had plans to release another album again within the next 2 years. I mean, have you already got written material? Yeah, we have. So this is what I was saying to you earlier. There will be a transition from... So Past Life in Black and White is lighter, in my opinion, than Retrograde. And it's almost like, are we going up or are we going back down again? But we're not going to do anything as such. We'll probably amalgamate sounds similar to both albums and try and make it more modern. So what I'm writing currently now, I am losing guitar solos a little bit. And I am bringing in more things, if you like, for a better word. Song-wise, we've got loads of songs. Myself and Will, we write for fun, really. So I've got at least 2 to 3 albums written that I could use. It just depends when I want to put them out. It's like they won't fully fit just now, if that makes sense. But they'll fit in another 5 years' time. So I'm now writing the next album because I don't think I've got a collection of songs that will suit the next progression in Gone Savage. But the 4th and the 5th I've got, if that makes sense. Yeah, so we're quite fortunate. Next year we're hoping to do a couple of festivals over in the States. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that next, actually, about US, yeah.
next September, hopefully, we've got a couple of shows out there. And what the record people want to do is they want to record it.
Wow.
Potentially.
Yeah. Are they based in LA, the record company?
LA. They are LA based, and they have quite a lot of ties in Arizona, and they go down south as well.
Right.
Some other places.
Right.
So, quite a stretch, but they're all mainly the west, not east. Heaven and Hell were Pennsylvania.
Right.
But they were more east.
Right. There's a guy whose idea was to do the 666 thing. He's in a band called Charlotte, who were quite big in the 80s and 90s, or 90s more actually. And they're still going. It's got Eric Gant, and he's based in New York. But they go out and play. I mean, they're sort of like the hard rock band, Charlotte. Send you some links to that, and maybe it might be worthwhile trying to hook up with him. He's signed to Aeonian Records, something like that.
Eclipse?
No, Aeonian. Aeonian, I think it is. Might be worth trying to hook up. Might never know. Might be able to get something together there. That'd be good. He's a great guy, man. All right, man. So, how would you then describe Gone Savage? How would you describe Gone Savage to someone who hasn't heard the band before?
First things first. I've had this conversation many times. Put the name to one side first. Just put that one to one side, because people go, it's like anything, it's preconceived ideas. And it's like, no, it's so difficult. So the reason for the name was because Will Glover came up with the name. I was in a band called Sweet Sin. The drummer was in a band called, it's the band that's still going, called Dare. So that's Dan Wharton's band.
I know.
And Andy had Sweet Sin with me, and we were doing quite melodic rock. Quite melodic. And so Will came up with the name Gone Savage. And then we got a new guitarist thing called Grant Mallison. And our sound went hot. So we'd gone Savage. That makes sense? So but now you could say we've gone retro, or we've gone AOR, or we've gone prog, or we've gone this. So you've got to listen to the music first. There's no image what's the word now? Give you a preconception. So we don't have blood and guts and stuff. We don't have kids at the altar getting murdered. We don't have any of that. And if you look at the artwork that we're kind of pushing, oh no, it's a shame. But what we're trying to push, so you look at the Life in Black and White cover, the Rubik's Cube, you look at the artwork from Cube, and you think, okay. So then please move on to the music, and you'll find the music is really well produced. Yeah, it's got for everybody, really, from a rock point of view. Maybe not a pop fan, and then if you look at our video for Life in Black and White, it's the animated video. Have you seen that one on YouTube?
I don't think I have. I've not seen that.
We've got a lady called Hannah.
I must have seen it. I can't remember. Is it on YouTube though? Yeah, so I can use that on the interview. Brilliant. Yeah, well, I've not seen that.
It's a pencil drawing.
I see so much. I don't know. I must have done. Was that out before the album was out?
Yeah, so that came out with Past Life and Life.
Of course, I've seen it. I think you say that pencil and that. Yeah, that's sort of rings a bell. It's like I would have done. Yeah, Yeah, getting old, mate. Getting old. But yeah,
so you
see so much. It's just like I'm going away to Gran Canaria at the end of the month of January, and I won't try not to go to my Gmail, and they come back. It's like hundreds and hundreds of every day. There's new music every day. It's constant. You know what I mean, you just can't keep up. And then people are like, "Oh, why have you not done this? Why have you not done that?" I'm like, well, firstly, I don't get money for this, and secondly, I haven't got the time. There's so much, you know. It's like, you know, it is. But when your email came through, I remembered who you are, because I knew I'd done. Because that is a good thing about your name, so I remembered.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I did remember. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers?
Well, just like to say thank you to all of our new fans who came on our social this year, Seb. Really want to say thank you for engaging with what we do and joining us on socials and commenting and just sharing. It really does help our kind of reach. So we can't, thank you enough. All the purchases of the album and all the streams, it really does make a difference. So thank you so much for letting me come on and talk Gone Savage. Hope you enjoyed the show, and wishing you guys all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.